The true source of aberration, a question of time? For decades, Scientology research has focused on understanding and resolving the reactive mind. But today, a bold statement challenges everything we thought we knew. What if the true cause of aberration is time itself? According to this new perspective, the reactive mind is not just an accumulation of traumas or mental images, but the direct result of an implantation mechanism based on time. It is our perception of time, rather than past experiences, that traps beings in an altered reality and prevents them from reaching their full potential. Mr. Hubbard, you claim, the sole aberrating factor is time itself. What we never fully understood until now is that the reactive mind was implanted and time was the mechanism exploited and used to implant beings in the first place. If this theory is correct, it would mean that traditional methods are insufficient to free an individual because they do not address the fundamental problem. Should we completely rethink the approach to Scientology? Does the solution lie in breaking away from our perception of time? These are the key questions we will debate today. Is time truly the sole source of all aberration? Or is this hypothesis based on a misinterpretation of mental phenomena? With us today is Adriano, who does not entirely agree with you, Mr. Hubbard. I remind our audience that you claim to be the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard. The floor is yours.
You really want me to believe that the sole source of aberration is time? That's quite a radical statement. I'm willing to admit that our perception of time influences our consciousness, but to make it the fundamental element of all implantation and spiritual limitation, that's a step I won't take so easily.
But that's because you don't yet see the full scope of the problem. Look, our entire existence is conditioned by time. It's the key variable that keeps us trapped in the illusion of mist. The implants exploit this temporal frequency of 25 cycles per second to keep us imprisoned in a flow we never question.
And how do you explain that we are able to function normally within this temporal framework? If we were truly implanted, why would we be able to perceive, learn, and evolve?
Because we are slowed down. You think our current functioning is normal, but it's a crippled version of what we should be. What I have discovered is that we have been conditioned to perceive only a limited number of images per second. Anything that exceeds this threshold plunges us into a state of partial or total unconsciousness. This is exactly the technique that has been used to implant us for eons.
It's an interesting concept, but where's the proof? How can you be sure that this frequency of 25 images per second is truly a luck and not just a biological limitation?
This is where quantum physics meets spirituality. Studies on the discontinuity of reality show that the universe is not a constant flow, but a series of interruptions. Quanta do not exist continuously. They appear and disappear. What we perceive as movement and continuity is actually a series of quantum jumps.
All right, but how does this prove that time is an implant and not just a characteristic of our perception?
Because we can break it. Ron's technique is based on a simple principle. If we surpass the imposed frequency, we step out of the implantation framework. This is what the processing frequency does by counting at 26 cycles per second, just beyond the barrier that was imposed on us. At that point, the implant disintegrates and we access a higher state of existence.
So you're telling me that all it takes is counting faster to spiritually awaken? That's a bit simplistic, don't you think?
It's not just a matter of counting, it's a matter of frequency. By holding this frequency as a concept, we force our mind to surpass its limitations and see the implants for what they are, illusions created to imprison us.
It's fascinating, but it's still just a hypothesis. Where's the concrete proof?
The proof is in the experimentation. Those who have applied this technique report an instant dissolution of mental charges, spectacular consciousness gains, and most importantly, it explains why no true OT has emerged in decades. We've always treated the symptoms without ever eradicating the root cause.
I have to admit, your theory has a certain elegance, but it requires a great deal of faith to be fully accepted.
No faith, just experimentation. The frequency processing is done with the following steps. 1. Locate a charged or null lock, secondary, engram, or ridge at any point in time, past, present, or future. Or 2. Count starting with 26 times per second, the rate that exceeds what a being can analyze until a blowdown or indication occurs. This will be the rate the above were originally formed at. 3. Hold that frequency as a concept until charge blows off of it. At this point, the implant phrase will blow into view and can be run. 4. This phrase is then run as a concept against the original engram, etc. until it blows down and laughing with VGIs come. It is the standard EP without the cognition. The cognition is replaced by the implant phrase as it is why that incident was formed in the first place. Try it and you'll see for yourself. Time is the ultimate illusion. Break the frequency and you'll finally be free.
We have reached the end of this captivating debate. On one side, an audacious theory claiming that time is the source of aberration, and on the other, skepticism regarding this new procedure. This debate has opened up perspectives on how we understand Scientology and the mechanisms that limit us. The question remains, should we accept this theory of time, or do we need more evidence? That remains to be explored by going through the procedure. Thank you all, and see you soon.